Do you ever wonder if your penny pinching habits are doing more harm than good? In this video, we'll uncover 6 signs that you're too cheap. I'm Tim Gosnell, and on this channel, we talk about personal finance and budgeting. Melissa, I always talk about the spectrum of like savers and spenders, right? I'm definitely on the saver side. But the extreme and negative side of saver is going to be cheapskate, right? I guess the extreme side of spending would be
like a shopaholic.
Yeah, shopaholic,
Hoarder.
Compulsive spending. You know, actually, in doing research for this video, I found that hoarding is probably more of a cheapskate tendency because they don't want to get rid of the stuff because it has value and they might need it, which is more of a cheap thing. There's probably people on both sides, but there was an attachment to being cheap. A lot of these things, if they feel like they hit home for you, just know that I'm talking to myself.
Yes,
as an example, I was watching, it was some TikTok or something like that, of somebody taking soy sauce packets from like takeout Chinese food and pouring them into their large soy sauce bottle from their refrigerator. Now, most of you watching are like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea.
It's not
terrible. I mean, I've seen worse ideas. So I'm somebody who would be on the cheapskate side. I would say that I'm not a cheapskate anymore. Oh, Melissa's doubting.
We are not good self-reflectors of our own self.
Hold on. If I was a cheapskate before and I've improved, I just haven't gotten past cheapskate.
You want my opinion?
I do.
That is my opinion. You are still pretty.
It hurts.
The fact that you think putting soy sauce from to-goes, that it appeals to you, is still that part of you.
But I don't do it.
But you don't do it.
But I don't do it. I maybe have done it once.
See, now here comes the truth.
All right. So the number one sign that you might be a cheapskate is spending is stressful. And a lot of these that I'm talking about within the context of you have the money to spend or you need to spend it, right? And it's still stressful to you. So it takes the joy out of experiences, out of getting things. Like you might decide to go out to eat or go on a vacation, but the whole time there's this stress around it. And if I'm honest, at times I still struggle with that. Again, not nearly to the, can you admit that I've made progress?
You have definitely made, for sure. Like really, seriously, for sure.
Thank you.
You're still a cheapskate.
Thank you. If you find that it is stressful buying things that you need or doing things that you're planning on doing and that you've saved for or whatever, it's sucking the joy out of your life. And so I am conscious of it. I'm aware of it. And I do try to work through it as I see that coming up.
How do you work through it? Like, what does that look like?
I think one of the biggest things is identifying that I'm feeling this way. And then, that feeling is going to work against us having a good time on vacation. So it's going to waste even more money. It's going to waste the money that we have already chosen to spend because now we're not having a good time. B is just be like, no, I plan to do this. I want to do this. I have the money to do this and not going in debt for this. And let's have a good time. And
so do you logic your way through it then? I
have to identify it and then kind of reason my way through it. A lot of times, like early on in my journey with this, it would just kind of sit underneath the surface and I wouldn't be able to even say to myself, I'm stressed out because we're spending money or whatever it was associated with it. And so now I'm able to identify it and then work through it. So number 2, you avoid necessary expenses. Things like skipping doctor's visits, driving on bald tires, eating expired food. Sarah and I just talked about
Here's another story.
An argument that we had earlier on in our marriage where she was throwing out milk after its expiration.
How dare she?
It was still good. And she doesn't even drink the milk. She doesn't drink milk or use milk except for in baking and cooking. And so that was my milk, perfectly fine. Expiration doesn't mean the food is bad. There's an Adams Ruins Everything about this that you should watch. It's a sell-by date. If it's still good, I don't want to throw it away. But I don't want to drink bad milk.
Right, but you're going to smell it and taste it, and if it still tastes good, even
you can't go by smell alone because you have to do the taste test because it can smell not the best up at the top where the milk's been sitting and stuff. Yeah, like near the cap and stuff. So it could smell a little bad. All right, I'm still in the cheapskate.
you are still
You're winning me over. All right. So anyway, if this is you, like, you might not be buying new clothes. You're going around looking shabby because we don't want to. And again, this is something I really struggle with. Yeah. Old me wouldn't even buy the new stuff. Now I do buy the new stuff more frequently.
You get the Sam's $12 pants, right? Are they $12? Yes.
Sam's $12 pants. I don't know. They're like, I think they're $15 or $16. That's another pair. See, I have them in khaki. I have them in green. I have them in blue. I have them in gray. All the colors. I'm more likely to buy this stuff now, but what I still have a hard time with, and this comes into the hoarding, is I still have a bunch of t-shirts with oil stains on them that I don't want to get rid of because I still can wear them around the house.
Okay.
I can wear them for yard. And so if I don't have those shirts, then I'm wearing the new shirts to do yard work and then messing them up. So when do you throw away a shirt?
Can I have a suggestion? You probably only need 2 or 3 of these stained shirts. Get rid of the rest of them. Can we do that?
I will work
This
on
has
it.
become an intervention.
I know. We're moving on. Number 3, you always pick the cheapest option. I am for, obviously, the cheapest option sometimes, but sometimes it's counterproductive. Sometimes you buy it and then it doesn't even do what you needed it to do because it's so cheap. Sometimes it's going to break earlier because it's cheaper. If we're always navigating towards that and it's then impeding our actual use of the item, our enjoyment of the item, or how long we get to use that item,
It can end up being more expensive.
It actually can. Like, so if you're buying shoes and you're buying really cheap shoes all the time and they're getting used up every, couple months or something like that, versus buying a really nice pair of work shoes that are going to last a couple of years, it does start to add up over time. So, and it's not just the money. There's also our time and hassle factor that we have to factor into this stuff too. If you're constantly have to go to the store and buy new shoes and it's always on your to-do list and this mental load and all this stuff. So, again, there's a time and place to buy the cheaper version, but if we're always doing that and it's impeding our life, then that's when it's getting in the way.
Look at you.
Number 4, you struggle to be generous. So if you rarely buy meals for other people, you don't tip well, you skimp on gifts, or you find excuses not to donate or give to charities, then this may be getting in the way. And let me tell you, this is one area that, because I've learned from people like my wife, I've gotten so much better at this. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun when you're in a good place financially and you can be generous to other people and give. I mean, there's so much joy to be found in it. There's so much connection. There's so much community that can be found in it. Generosity is one of those things that it's like, I do think it's beneficial to the other person, but it's also extremely beneficial to you in so many ways. So this is definitely something that's worth working on. Number 5 is you constantly talk about money, says the guy who has a YouTube channel about money. But if you're always you're complaining about prices, you're bragging about deals. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
I do think the one, I think that's one of the couple of things are, one, when we're complaining about prices, I do think it sucks the joy out of it, especially for our spender friends or people who aren't cheapskates like us. When you go to a restaurant, you're looking at it and you're, oh, this is so because that person, like the person that you're with wants to buy something too. And let's say that you're in the same household and you're going to be on the same chick. Now they're feeling bad for whatever they get, like your children, they're hearing that, they're going to feel bad. Maybe they want to get a soda. You guys have the money for them to get a soda, but they hear you talking about money and they're like, oh, I should.
That is a $3.50 soda.
Yeah, it's a real buzzkill. So let's all get better. But one of the most detrimental too, I think, is just judging other people's spending. A lot of times we don't know their situation. We're making a lot of presumptions, but B, it just doesn't matter. Like we make our own decisions and we make them for our own reasons and let other people make their decisions. It's just, there's a real self-righteousness that we can tend to get into when we're doing something, when I'm doing something like that, of like, I'm so much better because I did this. And it's just not good for your own self, your own ego, and your relationship with other people. So it's definitely something that I work on. So, all right, number 6, it gets in the way of relationships. I really think that's one of the fundamental biggest issues with these is when we have the money, we're on track financially. We're maybe not 100% where we want to be because we have aggressive goals, but we're in a good spot and we have a hard time living life. That is going to get in the way of relationships. It's going to cause conflict. And even if it's not causing conflict, it's going to suck out some of that joy of experiences that we could do together. It is worthwhile to be aware of these things and work on them. So let's do it together. Is this something that you struggle with too, or is it just me? I have a feeling if you're the type of person that's watching videos like this, I have assumptions about which side you fall on, but I would like to hear in the comments which side that you fall on. So are you more of a saver? Or are you more of a spender? And which of these do you struggle with the most? I'll see you next time on the channel.